Alright, what's up everybody? It's Carl's Collects Comics and I'm back with another top 10 list. This time I'm going to be talking about the top 10 Miles Morales comics to add to your comic collection. So stay tuned. Hey, so we're talking about Miles Morales with this video. I'm going to be going over my picks for the top 10 Miles Morales comics to add to your collection. This is a mixture of big books and small books. I try to go to every different budget range with these videos just to really give a good overview of the books. This is obviously not every book that you would want to add to your Miles Morales collection to make it the ultimate new Spider-Man collection, but it's definitely a good place to start. He is coming back as of the recording of this video with Into the Spider-Verse Part 2, and I think there's also Part 3 that they're working on as well. But he's definitely a popular character. He is here to stay for a whole generation. He is Spider-Man, and while, hey, Peter Parker, I love him as well, Miles Morales is definitely there in my Hispanic superheroes wing of my personal collection. So it's a lot of fun putting this video together, so I hope that you're going to get some enjoyment out of it, and I hope it gives you some tips and hints and maybe some ideas about books that you can add to your collection. So let's get started with it. So these are the top 10 Miles Morales comics to add to your comic collection. Number 10 on my list is Miles Morales Spider-Man number 29, the Mike Mayhew Sneakerhead variant. So this is just a fun pickup right here. While Mike Mayhew did other Sneakerhead variants, this was the first and by far, in my opinion, the best, because it just fits the character. It just so, I remember when I first saw it, I said, man, that is a cover that I want. And I'm not really a big variant chaser, but this was just one of those ones I said, I'd really like to own that book and add it to my Miles Morales collection. I don't chase a bunch of later printings, I don't chase a bunch of variants, but this was one that I said, it's just a fun book to add. They also did a Amazing Spider-Man one, a Peter Parker Spider-Man one, a Venom one, and I think they also did a Black Panther one, but none of those were as fitting for those characters as this one was for Miles Morales, because it just fits with the whole vibe of his character. It is well worth considering for a pickup. It does seem to have held value. I bought mine at full retail from Mike Mayhew's website. I think I bought it for either 30 or 40 because I got the trade dress, which means that it has the logo across the top, and a signature by Mayhew. So it was a lower priced one, but I don't remember exactly how much it was. So I'm setting the Target collector's price for these in the $30 to $40 range, also for a high grade copy, and also dependent on signature, because they do seem to have held value. They haven't really gone up in value, but they also haven't really dropped in value. So I think it's one of those books that's just kind of going to stay there at that price as long as Miles Morales is relevant. And I think he's going to be relevant for quite some time. So I think it's I think that's a safe price to buy into the book at. Obviously, if you find it for less, go ahead and jump on it, because that's a good it's a good fun book to have in the collection. Number 9 on my list is Spider-Man number 12, Volume 2, the Miles and Gwen Kiss cover. So I'm a sucker for a good romance cover. I almost did a Valentine's Day special episode, but I realized that most of these books are going to end up in other top 10 lists. So this one has fast become a classic cover since the characters became paired romantically. Fans just seem to like this pairing. I see it kind of like the Nightwing and Batgirl pairing over in DC, in that it's something that the fans just really enjoy, and it keeps getting hinted at, but they kind of carry it along in the different stories, and it pops up here and there. So my Target collector's price for this book would be no more than $40 for a high-grade raw copy. eBay prices were somewhat high, and that may be because of the upcoming movie, but I cannot see paying more than $40 for a really nice high-grade copy. Now, I've seen some 9.2 slabs of this book for around $50, but the problem is in the market, anything below a 9.6 is actually seen as a negative. Many will pay the same for a high-grade raw because it preserves the chance, if only in their minds, of a higher grade, if they should so choose to slab it. So just keep that in mind, watch the market, and if this book is on your want list, do what I've always said to do: stack your cash, have it ready, and keep an eye out, and the right deal will come to you. You don't have to be in a hurry to buy the book. If it spikes because of movie news, just wait until after it comes back down. Same with any other book. Number 8 on my list is Miles Morales Spider-Man number 13. So this is the first appearance of Billy Morales as a baby. This is Miles' little sister, and a solid book to pick up given the character's popularity and continued development. So a solid supporting cast and rogues gallery goes a long way towards establishing a newer character, and Miles Morales is no different. So my target collector's price for this book, for a cover A first print, would be $20 for a high-grade raw copy. Now if you can find it for less, great, but this is already an aggressive price and it's going to be tough to find, but keep your eyes open. Number 7 on my list is Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man number 1, the first print. So I included both printings of this book on this list because I feel like they're both worth having in the collection. This is Miles Morales' second ongoing title. There have been quite a few, and it's a book well worth having and putting into the collection because it is early on in his superhero career. Brian Michael Bendis continues to write the character and fleshing him out, with art handled by David Marquez. Marquez is a talented, relevant artist, and in this series we start to see Miles Morales become established as his own superhero. So this book is fairly common, so I'm setting the target collector's price for $22 for a high-grade raw copy. Now you might go as high as $25, but I wouldn't go further because they're definitely out there. And we'll get to the second print in a moment, but keep in mind that the first print, easy to identify because it has that red bar across the bottom. Number 6 on my list is Spider-Man number 1 from Volume 2. So this is Miles Morales' third ongoing title, but it's labeled as Volume 2 because the Todd McFarlane 1990s run of the same title is known as Volume 1. So Brian Michael Bendis continues handling the writing duties, but this time Sarah Pichelli comes in to handle art. Miles Morales does have a bit of a confusing history due to the various titles, but each one is worth picking up for the Miles fan. One quick tip might be to look at each of the runs, pick out the books that are going to be the hardest to get, and go after those first, and then you can go after what's called the filler issues, which are the ones that are lower priced, but if you want the full collection, you can find those. But always go after your number ones and your key issues first, so you have those out of the way. So I'm setting the target collector's price at $25 for this book. It's actually a more desirable book than his second title, but if you're a fan, I'd try to get them all. I do have pieces of all of his runs, but not a full and complete run except for the second most recent one. Number 5 on my list is Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man number 1. This is the second print, blue label. So this book is another one of the blue label second prints that Marvel was releasing during this time period. I've consistently recommended these second prints for characters that had them because they're very low print runs by comparison, and they are highly collectible. I've said it before, I'll say it again, if you see that blue bar as a second print, it generally means green because they're going to be a higher price tag than the first prints. Very low print runs across all of the books that had them. So I'm setting the, let's see, so my target collector price for this book would max out at $50. I think if you find this book in the wild for $50 or under, especially for a high grade copy, it's well worth picking up. Now, I don't know if it will maintain that value, but if you're a collector and you need this book to help complete your collection, it could be worth it. I've done this before with books that were on my list to complete a run. I've gone ahead and paid fair market value or full retail because as a collector, I wanted to go ahead and complete the run, and you know what? It was worth it. We don't always have to get a steal of a deal. Sometimes just paying a fair price, not a inflated price, but a fair price is okay. Number 4 on my list is Miles Morales, Spider-Man #1, cover A. So this is the 4th ongoing Miles Morales title. I am most familiar with this run because I was picking it up from the stand from the first issue. It was a decent run with plenty of new characters and storylines, including a Miles clone saga and a Miles evil clone. Lots of great covers and moments also. My target collector's price for this is also $20, though this book saw a decent spike a while back. I think $20 is a fair price for the book, though the market may currently be dictating otherwise. So number 3 on my list is Miles Morales Spider-Man #1, the 1:25 ratio variant by Adi Granov. I think I'm saying his name correct there. So I'm usually not a fan of ratio variants, as they don't generally tend to hold value, but this one is an exception purely because of the cover art. It's a variant to the previous book, but the clean white background and the dynamic pose of the title character makes this a solid pickup for any Miles collector. So now keep in mind though that as nice a cover as it is, this is a very pricey book. I'm seeing CGC 9.8 copies online for $400 to $500 or more. A raw copy being put at 9.4 by the seller is listed for $200. So, you know, I doubt this book will be an easy find in the wild. So if you're a true fan, my best advice on this one would be just to stack your cash and watch for a deal, probably at a comic convention. That being said, at a local comic shop recently, I did see a slabbed CGC 9.8 copy for sale for just $300. If you're a fan of the character and this is a book that you're looking for, that's probably as good a deal as you're going to get on it. But like I've said before, carry some cash with you, and I'm sure you're going to find the right dealer willing to strike a bargain. Number 2 on my list is Ultimate Comics Spider-Man #1. So this is the second appearance and first solo title for Miles Morales Spider-Man. This has become a very sought-after book, but for good reason. With nowhere near the print count of his first appearance, this book has risen in value and currently goes for $50 to $70 grade dependent. So my target collector's price for this book in high grade would be about $60. I think that's a fair price, and you should be able to get a very nice crisp copy for that dollar amount. Don't settle for spine ticks or corner dings at this price though. Again, just carry your cash and be ready when the deal presents itself. It's the same thing with any of these books all the time. Don't let FOMO, fear of missing out, get to you. Instead, wait for the best deal for you, and don't spend more than you know you can spend on it. Number 1 on my list of Miles Morales comics that you should be considering adding to your collection is, of course, Ultimate Fallout #4, the first print, cover A. With recent prices on this book cut in half, it's shaping up to be an affordable book for a wider group of collectors. The first appearance of Miles Morales Spider-Man is a modern Grail book and has definitely become a desirable keep. I go back and forth on this book because I remember when you could get this book for $25 or under. I also remember when some local comic shops had so many of them that they would just give them away, almost like they were free comic book day books. So this book also has me split on the target collector's price. I think it's a good book and an important book for any collector. I strongly believe that Miles Morales will continue to be an important character in comics and a standout character in media adaptations. It's undeniable that he's an important character, but the value of this book has fluctuated hard over the past 4 years or so. On this one, each collector is going to need to make their own decision, but keep in mind that as of March of 2023, when this video is being recorded, the fair market value for a CGC 9.8 white pages is around $1,500. Now that's down considerably from $2,500 a year ago, and even higher the year before that. During COVID, this book had hit $4,000 in value for a CGC 9.8. So my biggest thought process for this book is, how low can and will it go? If I didn't have a copy and was in the market to get one, I would keep an eye out and watch for it to drop below 1,000. At that point, that's when I'd be looking to buy in. That being said, I want to let you know on a recent episode of an online YouTube auction, a CGC 9.8 white pages copy of cover A, first print, did sell for just $1,200. So it's getting close to dropping below 1,000. And at that point, if you want a graded 9.8 copy, I would start to look. I don't know how much under 1,000 it's going to go, but keep watching, keep your cash stacked, and the right deal will present itself. Now, if you're looking for a raw copy, I would buy in at 400 if it hasn't already dropped that low by the time you watch this video. Again, I say that because 400 is a decent price for a modern Grail book, raw, that you're not guaranteed a certain slab grade on. Like if you just want one for your personal collection and you don't want the graded, you don't want to worry about graded books, then yeah, 400 or under for a really nice copy is a good fair price to be looking for, especially with the book dipping in price. Again, as always, do your own research and watch the market to get the books you want for your collection. And remember, that's ultimately the deal. If you make a purchase and this book and these books, any books, are for your collection, then you make the price decision that's best for you. Don't worry about what influencers or YouTubers or anybody else might tell you. You look at your budget. You look at what the most you're comfortable and willing to spend on the book, and then go from there and make your best decision. And I remember, like, my dad always used to tell me, don't look back. Once you make a decision, say, hey, you know what? This is the decision I made. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna live with it, and it is what it is. So hey, I hope this list has been of help to you. This has been the top 10 Miles Morales comics to consider adding to your collection. I hope that you have gotten something out of this, and I'm glad that you got to hang out with me and we got to go over this list and these books. Make sure and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed, why not yet? Plenty of cool content coming down the pipe. More new characters coming. There's plenty that are here on the channel already with their own top 10 lists. We'll be rolling out additional types of videos and stuff. So make sure you've liked the video. Drop a comment below. I'm still responding to every comment that I get a chance to or that I see come through. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever we go live for a live stream or when a new video goes live. Thanks so much for tuning in and for hanging out. I'm Carlos Collects Comics, and I hope this top 10 list has helped you to build up your comic collection. I'll see you next time.